Welcome to Central Valley Wedding and Special Events. I'm Sheriff Franzman, and I'm here with Reverend Jack Climer of Mountain Valley Ministries. Thank you for joining me, Reverend.
Thank you, and congratulations on your recent wedding.
Thank you very much. Yes, 9 days ago I got married, and coming from that, I know there is a lot of planning that goes into every aspect of the wedding.
There is indeed.
But specifically the ceremony, and you really help out with that element of it.
Yeah, I do. And it's interesting you say element, because there are elements in a ceremony seem to take the most questions that I get from my couples. Some elements, they're things that happen inside the ceremony that have a reason, or they have a symbolism in something. Typically, I mean, elements that everybody recognizes is a ring exchange.
Absolutely.
Okay?
You have to have that, in my opinion.
Well, I agree. But a ring exchange is an element. Everybody's used to that. Couples writing their own vows is an element, although vows are not necessarily what they mean, but something like that.
Right.
But there are other elements that can be very important. Some of those, if we have a bride and groom that have children from another relationship and they're coming together as one family, very often a sand ceremony is done.
Really?
And that's where each has their own colored sand, and the sands are blended together in a vessel, a vase or something, together to show the blending of the individuals into a new family.
That's wonderful. I love that. It
Very
makes
symbolic.
everyone feel like they're participating in it, and that's something they, I would imagine, could keep
Oh, yeah.
as they grow their lives together.
They do. They keep that. It's something in their home, and it's good for the kids because the kids feel like they're now part of something very special.
Absolutely.
Hand washing and blessing is getting to be very popular.
Interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Yeah. Typically what we'll do is we'll have a nice basin that's set before the couple, and they will hold their hands over the basin, and water is poured over it. And the reason we do that is that water is cleansing. Okay, it purifies everything.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, without water, life cannot exist. So you have to have water to have life. So by washing their hands over the basin, they are symbolically washing away all the baggage and past and issues that they may have had. That's all going away, and they're joining their lives together now, purified and with a fresh start.
That's beautiful. I love that.
It's very popular.
I can understand why. That seems like a lovely piece of the ceremony for both the couple and for everyone else to witness.
It is. And typically what I'll do after that is I'll have them join hands this way in a infinity circle, and then I will bless their hands. And either, if it's a Christian-based ceremony, I'll invoke God's blessings on it. If not, we'll talk about man's blessing and, wishing them well for the future.
Yes.
Celtic hand fasting is very popular. That goes back to my old my roots of the Celts, the Scots, and the Irish.
So you probably enjoy that one.
I do, and it's a lot of fun, and that's where we get the term tying the knot and the tie that binds, because the couple join hands. And then I will ask a series of questions. After each affirmative answer from the couple, then a binding is made around their hands and wrists. And
how neat.
And so that's something that's created for them, and then they can keep as a memento. But yet that goes back to the old days when they didn't have holy men or priests or anybody around. This is the way in which the couples announced to the village that they were married, and so that goes back hundreds of years.
What a wonderful tradition!
It is,
and that would be a great way for couples to incorporate their own backgrounds into it as well. If they also come from that Celtic background, they can bring in a piece of that culture.
Exactly, and it's really fun when we get a fusion wedding. When I have someone that has a different heritage, a different background, and we're blending them together, and we're using some of the legacy of each culture into their new wedding, and that's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun too. Everybody's heard of the unity candle, I think. What's frustrating sometimes is when they want to use the unity candle outdoors,
Oh,
That
I bet
doesn't-
that could get tricky.
That doesn't work very well, frankly, because we always have a breeze.
Of course.
So there's
Anytime
that.
you want to do something like that.
Have you heard of the anger box?
Oh, is that where they write letters to each other and
Exactly.
they smash it in the first big fight? Is that what that is?
Well, that's one way to look at it.
Okay.
But generally, they'll each write a letter to each other, then they will not share it, about why they love each other, why they became attracted, why they became married, what their hopes are for the future, all of those things. And they're sealed and they're put in the box. Oftentimes, the parents will write a letter about why they think it's great and what have you. That goes
how
in the
nice.
box. If they both like wine, then a small bottle of wine and 2 glasses are put in there.
I like it.
Then the box is nailed shut. And the first time they have an issue that causes a real danger to the marriage, they open it up, they read the letters about why they were together in the first place, remember some of the things that got them there, and see if they can't, put down the anger and smooth things out and work together as a cooperative team that any successful marriage has to be.
That seems like such a great idea because sometimes you do need that reminder, especially as a newly married couple.
Mm-hmm.
Having that first big fight can seem like the end of the world. So that's a wonderful thing to take from the ceremony and keep with you.
Well, it's not even necessarily from your first fight. My wife never fought with her first husband.
Really?
And the first time we had an argument, it wasn't a fight by any means, but first time we had an argument, she broke down in tears and said, "My God, my marriage is over." And I said, "Wait a minute,
It wasn't something she'd
time out.
experienced
Yeah,
before.
time out here. I mean, we can talk. We have to be able to talk to one another, and I love you, and I'm not going to change that." So, so it works out. But
Seems like a good thing to have around.
yeah, but it's nice to have something that will give you a memory. The idea the wedding passes quickly after all the planning.
It does. It
flies
by.
And you don't remember some of it, but some you do. And my goal is to create a ceremony after interviewing the couple and talking at length about what they want, to create a ceremony that exceeds their expectations and that is something that they look back on in 5 years and smile about. If they've done that, I've done my job.
Well, it sounds like you really get in touch with those couples and find what's special to them, because some of those pieces of the ceremony, maybe it means a lot to one person but not to another. So
Exactly.
that's wonderful that you're sitting down with them and finding what's going to touch them and
sure.
what's going to be special to them.
And the important thing is that unless you're getting married in a church in an established liturgy where they have a very structured ceremony, there's really no right way or wrong way to do a wedding. There are traditional ways,
Sure.
but there's no right way or wrong way. There's only a couple of legal things that have to happen, and I slip that in there seamlessly so they don't have to worry about that. So, with dealing with us, we will create the ceremony after a good interview. We'll make changes until they're happy with it, and then we'll present the ceremony and conduct it. We'll take care of all the legal filing that has to happen and make sure that it's done according to law and that your name change is done and all those kind of things.
It's important.
It is very important. So we do all of that for you, and that's part of the service that we provide.
Well, it's so wonderful. And, there's so many aspects of weddings that couples customize and they make it their own. But they might not think about the ceremony and making that about them and customizing that to them. So
Exactly.
It's so wonderful that you show them the possibilities that they can have to make it something that's truly special.
Sure, and often we'll get a comment that, well, my mother wants this, or my
Yes.
mother-in-law wants this, or whatever, and that's fine, but it's not their wedding.
No.
It's the bride's wedding, primarily, and the groom.
And the groom, too.
The groom too, but mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. So,
It's true.
but it's a special event, and I want them to have it their way. We'll do whatever they want to do, of course, but it's a joy to see them grow and spread their wings and really embrace the wedding itself and the ceremony and the symbolism of everything and what it means.
Absolutely. Now, Reverend, how should people get in touch with you?
Well, the easiest way is by either email, which is jclimer@mountainvalleyministries.com, or my phone number is 800-658-7986.
Wonderful.
We perform ceremonies for the Central Valley, and we also have an office in the Sacramento area.
Oh, very
So we
nice.
have a minister, Reverend Terry Milo, that helps couples, and we work with veterans and their families primarily, and
Very nice.
that's what we do. And the wedding fees that we obtain, modest as they are, they pay for that. So it's our way of giving back.
Well, it sounds like they're going towards a good cause then.
They are.
Well, thank you so much for coming back on the show and really letting us go in depth to the different elements of the ceremony. It was very interesting and enlightening.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
It was great to have you.
Thank you.